What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of KozMatt's Wrestling Recap. Let's get right into a spooky edition of Monday Night Raw on Halloween, no less. And boy, were we in for a treat. Let's get right into this thing, Matthew.
Dude, this was a phenomenal show. From production to just action, man. Everything was awesome. It really was. So Saudi Arabia, Crown Jewel is this Saturday. Obviously, Raw was the go home show for their part. Now we have SmackDown on Friday. This Raw was great. It really was. I'm tired. I was up all night last night and stuff like that. But oh man, it was a great show. So what actually happened to begin this show, Bianca Belair makes her way to the ring for her match, actually against the returning Nikki Cross. Now I am ecstatic Nikki Cross is finally back to
Her old
that.
gimmick, yeah.
Oh man, I couldn't take the superhero gimmick. I
Okay.
really couldn't. I really couldn't. Um Cross began to, really take on Bianca Belair, the Raw Women's Champion. And then I think Bianca had a minute, like, all right. This girl's good. This
She
girl's good.
wasn't,
And then
she
she
wasn't
kind of turned the
expecting it.
tables. As she turned the tables, Damage Control shows up to distract the ref and takes out Belair. But Cross really didn't want their help. She took out all three women before Bianca Belair hit her with a KOD. Of course, Bianca got the win, but wow. She doesn't want help from Damage Control. She doesn't want help from anybody, even in a backstage segment. They were all together, and Nikki Cross just storms off from all women.
Yeah, dude,
I'm not
I
gonna
think
lie, her taking an L, especially against Bianca Belair, it makes sense, but I don't know. I think they're still building her up.
this makes 100% sense, man. It didn't really make Nikki Cross look weak in her return, and it made Bianca look strong with a win. So I think it was a win-win for both parties. And Nikki ASH, no longer Nikki Cross. She's looking to take out everybody on that Raw Women's division.
Right. Absolutely. So moving forward, we actually were supposed to get a side-by-side interview with Bobby and Lesnar. But what actually happened is Brock Lesnar decided to go to the ring instead and ended up calling out Bobby Lashley. It took a bunch of officials to break everything up. It just was a mess, but it was an awesome mess. It was chaotic. It was awesome. Triple H actually came out
Yeah, from Gorilla.
saying from Gorilla saying if they touch each other one more time this night, the match is off. The match is off. Great storytelling, man. I loved how they booked it out. Then our next match, Theory versus Seth freaking Rollins. This was a solid match from top to bottom. Seth Rollins took the W. Pretty clean match. The only thing is Theory, he has to start taking W's. He's been taking a lot of losses. He really hasn't been winning anything. And you know what? Even though he hasn't really won much matches in the main roster, it doesn't even make him look weak because he could just bounce back from anything. And I think this is how they're slowly going to build up the incredible Austin Theory.
Oh yeah, 100%. Theory taking an L to Seth Rollins really doesn't make him look too bad because Seth Rollins is at the top of his game right now. We see Theory going in week after week facing these top talents on the Raw
Yeah,
roster, and I could see him cashing in that Money in the Bank, maybe at Crown Jewel.
yeah,
Let's see.
I think so. Speaking of Crown Jewel, we saw the Tribal Chief Roman Reigns alongside his hey man Brock. Sorry, not Brock Lesnar. Woo, woo.
But
Oh man, Paul Heyman. I'm sorry,
there we
Paul
go.
Heyman. Man, this was a really good segment between Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns, just kind of talking up the Tribal Chiefs match against Logan Paul at Crown Jewel. The Miz actually interrupts, saying he acknowledges Reigns, but he actually is there to help Roman Reigns against Logan Paul if Roman Reigns can help the Miz with the Psycho um, Dexter Loomis.
All right.
So you know, okay, I see what they're trying to do here, but we'll get to this later on in the night. Roman Reigns ended up just knocking out the Miz with a punch before Miz is supposed to take on Johnny Gargano later on in the night, or Mustafa Ali. I'm sorry. It was a good match. We ended up having it happen, all that stuff. So what I want to talk about next, our next match, Dominic Mysterio, Rhea Ripley, and Finn Balor accompanying Damian Priest to the ring for his match against Carl Anderson. Of course, Luke Gallows and AJ Styles ringside. Judgment Day attacking the OC. Bout was over. Rhea Ripley helped her group kind of end the segment standing tall. But what actually happened, Carl Anderson took a W with oh fuck, I forgot what he took a W with. I think it was a backslide.
Yeah, I
But
believe so. Like a
what
kind of a roll up something. Yeah.
so what I'm thinking, they're supposed to have a match at Saudi Arabia, right? Who are they going to have to even the odds? Are they going to have another woman? Of course they have to because they have Rhea Ripley. What's going to happen?
I think it's going to be Chelsea Green, man. I really do. I think she's going to make a return to WWE, and maybe we'll see the return of the Woo Man to Zack Ryder because they are a couple. So I think
Yeah,
we'll see Chelsea Green return and help the OC defeat the Judgment Day.
that would be very cool. I'm not really sure what they're gonna do, but it would be awesome. We'll make a predictions video and stuff like that later on as more stuff erupts. But what actually happened next? JBL and Corbin promo. JBL just he's hyping up Baron Corbin. I feel it. The crowd just wasn't into it. Really wasn't. Corbin ended up saying, "You want to know the truth? I'll tell you the truth." Blah blah blah. Our truth comes out just like he did last week.
God.
Um,
Anything
yeah,
with anything with our truth, man. I just love it, man. They got to get him on TV more because he just gets the crowd all amped up.
yeah, I think so. So it just it our truth tried to save the segment. I'm just not sure where they're going with JBL and Corbin, but whatever. It was a little more filler. So to finally celebrate Halloween, Otis and Riddle in a trick or treat street fight
Oh
this
my
week.
God, this was
Yeah,
awesome.
Gable and Elias, of course, representing their allies. This match was pretty good. It was pretty quick, but you know what? People were saying, "Oh, it was too quick. It was too quick." You know what? It is what it is. It was a little bit of filler. It was a little bit of fun. They had their moments, and honestly, I enjoyed it.
This is
Matt
exactly
Riddle
what
hit an RKO for the pinfall win against Otis with a pumpkin on his head.
this is exactly
Honestly,
what we
dude,
need. I mean,
yeah,
I love it, dude. You know what? It provided some nice comic relief. So way to go, Triple
exactly,
H. You know what? It provided some nice comic relief. So way to go, Triple
exactly.
H.
Exactly. So then we finally move on to the Miz versus Mustafa Ali. Um, as they actually were fighting ringside, I'm just gonna kind of go to the end of this match. It wasn't all crazy. Dexter Loomis actually ran from the crowd just out of nowhere. I barely even saw it and actually tried to grab the Miz from the crowd, but he was chased away by security. But nice distraction, followed by a 450 splash by Mustafa Ali for the win. Great, Mustafa Ali. He's taken it. He finally took a W, and we still have Dexter Loomis attacking the Miz. And later on in the night, we're supposed to see why Dexter Loomis is attacking the Miz. Thank gosh, they're finally getting to the end of all this with Johnny Gargano. So we'll talk about that, and then we'll get to our main event. All right. So Johnny Gargano reveals in a pre-tape segment, right, that the Miz actually hired Loomis to stage his first few attacks. He was paying him basically. So
Yeah.
after Dexter Loomis kind of had some hard shame in NXT and he was kind of homeless, I guess you could say. They played it off very well. A few acting videotapes, it was all acted out, but it was very well, and I understood it. I did. So Dexter Loomis was basically homeless. The Miz ended up giving him money as, saying, "Hey, you know what? I want more clout. I want more fame as I am, the famous Miz,
A-lister, yeah.
yay lister. I want you to make it look like I have a stalker and I want to get more clout. I want to get, everybody buzzing about me. I'm going to pay you to attack me, basically, to kidnap me and do all this stuff." That's what Johnny Gargano said. I believe it. I don't know. We'll see what the Miz has to say. Um,
Next week,
I
man.
don't know, but it got to a point where he said the Miz, why is Dexter Loomis still attacking him? And now Gargano says the Miz stopped paying him, and he ended up showing us a recording he took of them talking a few weeks ago, especially when Gargano returned to WWE, especially to Raw, made his debut. But you could catch all that online, the chat. But I think they played it out fairly well. The way they produced it, if it wasn't produced right, it would have been an utter mess. But they really did it right. It's going to have the fans buzzing, and I think that's what matters.
Yeah, it finally gave us an answer to why Dexter Loomis was attacking The Miz. You know what though? Our main event provided for somewhat of a surprise. Let's get
Hmm.
right into this thing. We have
Uh,
Dakota
I
Kai and Io Sky taking on Asuka and Alexa Bliss for those women's tag team
uh,
championships.
of course Bailey and Bianca Belair ringside. Of course, we ended up seeing them kind of, fight. So it was a great match. We really got to see Asuka show who she was. We really got to see Io Sky show what she can do in the ring. And once these two women kind of went at it, the crowd was on it. Nothing better than two Japanese wrestlers going at it. You know what I mean? Just very fun to watch. So gearing towards the end of this match, Bailey and Belair actually fought at ringside as the match was getting close to the end, and they actually ended up crashing through two tables. It was awesome. It just a build up towards their showdown at Saudi Arabia. Triple H did a great job selling that. Bliss and Asuka ended up scoring the win to become the new women's tag team champions.
Somewhat
Overall,
surprising.
it's had its weird pacing issues, but you know what? It is what it is. They cut to commercial. They had to figure out how to make it work, and they did. They really, really did. And we have our new women's tag team champions at WWE, Alexa Bliss and Asuka.
Yeah, dude, let us know what you guys think about the new women's champions. I don't know if I necessarily agree with it 100% with the new faction damage control, like losing their championship matches and losing their championship so soon. But we'll have to wait and see what they do with the women's division for the tag team division. And one thing's for sure, at least they're giving it some shine finally, because when those titles were created, we didn't really see much about it, but we're seeing
Yep.
title changes and Alexa Bliss and Asuka once again champions.
Up the ladder, man. They are on top of the ladder. Damage control, they're slowly going down. But with this, I don't see Bianca Belair retaining that championship at Saudi Arabia, especially with damage control losing if they want to make them look strong. If Bailey loses at Saudi Arabia, doesn't pick up that women's championship, I don't think damage control is in control, man. I think they lost themselves.
Oh, 100%. One thing's for sure, we'll have you guys updated on everything that you need to know going on in the wrestling universe. We'll have a SmackDown recap for you on Saturday, and we'll have a NASCAR championship race recap for you on Sunday. Until then, peace out.
Come on and fight.